I think a good portion of how the evil powers that be get away with what they get away with is by convincing people that the things that are bad in this world are their own fault. You know, which cause there's a degree of truth to whether if you're trying to do something, whether you succeed or you're unsuccessful, has a lot of different factors involved. Some of it is your determination and your desire. Some of it can just be put to fate or chance, and some of it can be attributed to malevolent energies working against you, and all of these things come into play. But when say it could be you're going to school and you're trying to get some degree or finish something up so that you can use that as a career or a job or something, or you're just trying to be a painter or whatever you're trying to do. Maybe you're trying to get mountain climbing gear, become a mountain climber on your spare time from your job, or whatever it is you really want to do. Whether you want to make music or you want to do anything. It could be artistic or it could be career related. Doesn't matter. You're working towards that goal because it's something you want to do, but you keep having problems getting to it because things just keep messing you up along the way. If it's not circumstance, it's your health, or which I've experienced a lot with the Raynaud's and the Morgellons and all this crap, and I guess that's where it's coming from as far as my thoughts on this. But when you might be trying to just be a better parent, right, and or be more interactive with your family and be relaxed and try and be whatever you're trying to be. You may be trying to be more of an asshole. Who knows? Whatever you're working towards, though, and you just can't quite seem to get to if you even are improving at it or making progress toward that goal, that never quite getting there all the way. To where you feel comfortable that okay, I've achieved something, I've accomplished something, I'm at some level of understanding of my subject or whatever it is, and we never really take into account of the covert nature of the entity, the evil that's trying to stop us, and it's really, a lot of it's real physical, point-blank stuff. Like, I guess what brought this on is I was thinking about energy weapons, like directed energy weapons, because of the tinnitus and the Raynaud's and the Morgellon symptoms, the hairs, the fibers, the antennas, connecting with, perhaps high frequency, low frequency, whatever frequency energies being, beamed into our area intentionally. And I started thinking about, like, before there was much of this electronic smog, there was the energy weapon of the metals themselves, because they're energetic, and you collect like say fluoride. Okay, the fluoride amalgamates or whatever from the smelting of aluminum, and they get this cake of highly concentrated fluoride, and I guess you can concentrate it and change its attributes from there, chemically or whatever, but basically you purified the fluoride. Well, that took energy, and so that fluoride is now toxic because of its purification down to a level that it can accumulate in larger amounts than it ever naturally would. It's still an element. Let me get off my point there. They put it in the water supply. Now, because you can drink a glass of water that has the fluoride additives in it in your municipal water supply, and you don't fall over dead, or you don't feel like you were cognitively impaired immediately, doesn't mean that you aren't. And it's before there was the electronics weapons that we call do. There was the same thing. An elemental weapon is do. It's directed. The element itself was taken with energy by somebody, purified into this form, put into your water supply, say, and consumed by you, which results in toxic buildup, which, we kind of know what aluminum does with the three A's, the triple A, autism, Alzheimer's, and arthritis. And those are the big three A's. Autism, Alzheimer's, arthritis. So you start out autistic, and then you get arthritis, and then you forget how it all could have happened because you got Alzheimer's. That's a directed energy weapon, and they're just everywhere. It's not even the Fl Br. It's the bromine. When the pools used to really have salt in them. They had therapeutic healing salt in pools. Salt will take the toxins out of you along with the water. And those were done away with because we got something that kills germs better, and it's chlorine and bromine, and except those also killed they toxically build up in creatures that soak themselves in it, and unlike salt. But let me get on the point. Those are directed energy weapons. Those were pre-electronic directed energy weapons. When the king in his castle, who ruled the village, and the village all drank from the well, and they were all his subjects, and they were getting a little uppity, so the king's wizard would prepare a potion, a spell, because he was into pharmacology, and go tell the Kisai, we'll put this in the well where the people drink from, and they will never pose a threat to you. And the king says, all right, make it so. And they did, and they've been doing it ever since, is what I would say. And it's so systematic and systemic across the plane of existence. I mean, the 19 thing, not the 19 hijackers, but the 19, that song, remember that song from the 80s, 19. It was the average age of the soldier in the Vietnam conflict. Because it wasn't a war, it was just a conflict. We were defending ourselves. Anyway, scratch. Yeah, that all the nations that lined up and went along with that show their true allegiance. You might think that they oppose each other, or that they even have wars with each other, and maybe they do, and maybe people and your family members go and fight in them, and some die. That actually does happen. I'm not saying that doesn't, but if those nations went along with the Crown Zellerback, no, that's a Z. Damn. Well, okay, turn Z sideways. Anyway, if all the nations that lined up along with that have showed their allegiance, they're all in collusion with each other. What do you think these big summits are? The G8 summits and Summit and the CPAC, or whatever, not the CPAC, but well, it probably is too. All of these big world conventions, with your elites go to, the heads of corporations and nations and princes and whatever. They're not going to we're trying to hammer out a peace accord. They're planning the next war. They're deciding who's going to, lose how many people and what the reason they're going to be told is for. And then the people are just stupid enough to keep joining the military and going off and doing these things. Oh, I'm protecting my nation. And no, you're fucking not. You're creating destruction and chaos all over the world so that evil fucks can take over and restore order by, what's the best way to restore order? Oh, stop causing the chaos. Gee whiz. Beepity. Isn't that the best way to stop, to restore order, is to stop causing chaos? Doesn't that make a lot of sense? But that will never happen because you can take control by causing chaos, and it's a dynamic that works, from personal relationships with people. I've seen it to entire nation relationships with each other, with the world, with people towards their nation. I don't understand what this nationalism crap is about. What are you proud about America for? If you were in the military right now and you weren't drafted, what are you proud of? What is your organization doing around the world that makes you proud, that you can say, oh, I'm proud we did this? Because unfortunately, for that point of view, the U.S. has never been attacked. It has only attacked other nations continuously since its inception, and it has a great PR campaign. First out of D.C., then out of Hollywood, and it's got everybody damn near in the world convinced that it's legit, when it's so obviously not at this point. That the veils have fallen off, the wheels have come off the cart of the USA. It is the unbelievably stupid assholes of the United Satanic Alliance. And I don't use that S word as meaning some religion is more correct than another religion. Religions are what they are. That has nothing to do with you or me and our relationship directly with the world and the environment around us, and whether we believe there's a creator or not. There is something. We're here. Our consciousness is in this form, and we perceive ourselves to be trapped here for a period of time. Kind of like in a little, time out. Maybe we're souls in time out. We got a little out of line in the soul universe, and we were put in the time out. Will you go live a life for a while, and then you come back and see if you can behave? I mean, that seems plausible. It's kind of like a little jail. But not the eternal, for life or eternity, because if you lived forever, then life would be eternity, and we couldn't conceive it as a person, and now I'm starting to digress. Anyway, directed energy weapons, fluoride, bromine, chlorine, lead, arsenic, lithium. These are the non-ferrous metals, too, pretty much. Like with mercury in the liquid form, you can hold it in your hands, don't drink it, but it doesn't harm you. It's the gas from mercury that off-gases from the amalgamations in the fillings that actually poisons people with mercury. But the liquid itself is at a large enough scale, it doesn't go into you. But that's not really known. They're just, look how dangerous it is. Now let's put it in your fillings, right? I mean, where's the sense in that? There's clearly some malevolent force running the world. They're clearly assaulting us in ways we can't always see or describe a lot of times, or even, most people don't even know about. They choose not to. They think, there's nothing I can do about anything, so I'm not even going to worry about whether or not I'm being poisoned in some way, Your body should be the first thing letting you know, and then your mental state as well. You should have a sense about whether something new has changed in your environment and you're not feeling the same as you normally would, or worse, say. I mean, we should all have a sense of that. But, and then search for a reason, do people just think, if I don't feel good, I'll just go to the doctor and he'll give me some stronger meds and then I'll feel better. Your health is meaningless? Is that what it is? Is it HMO, mean it maintains your health at that level, and that's whatever as low as possible as long as you're still breathing? I don't get it. People believe everything that this lying piece of crap nation has ever put out about the moon landings, about the nature of the universe, about philosophy, about religions, they've permeated everything in the world with a lie. And it's become so clear that it's, the people who don't see it are just, they must just assume there's nothing they can do about anything, so why even bother thinking about it? And then, so what is their life filled with? I don't know. I don't know. we should try and stay out of the shit show, though, I would think. And if you discover that fluoride truly is bad for you, you might want to try and remove it from your environment and not be using things that contain it, which is pretty much everything nowadays. It's in the French fries, it's in the soda pop, it's in the beer, especially in the beer. All the drinks that you could consume, especially the alcoholic ones, the ones that are bad for you, well, in alcohol in its natural, original, unaltered form from a good maker of alcohol, and I don't mean a company, I mean an individual person making it and not, putting any extra additives in it, isn't that harmful for you if it's not, excessively abused. But the stuff that you can buy is. It has at least the fluoride in the water that was used to start these processes, and that will stay in it. If you trust a corporation, you're a fool. Corporation is corpsoration. The corpsoration, that's what I think of them as. Corpsoration. The dead are speaking to us. What are they telling us? They're orating to us. They're telling us how to live, what to do, what to eat, what to drink, what's healthy, what's not, what's the nature of the universe you live in, and everybody's just believing it, and we have the most disturbed and diseased, sick population of people in the history of known history as far as we can determine, which in history is pretty sketchy, really. You look into the Tartaria research. The biggest thing that makes Tartaria cool is the little cracks in the pavement, you might say, that expand out from that star fort city. You start looking into star forts, and you look into Tartaria, and you look into that type of research. And at first, it's like, okay, building, how did they build it back then? That would have been pretty hard, if not impossible. How did they do such incredible work? And then you start realizing how much of it has been destroyed in every country in the world, in every city in every country. The exact same architecture, big monumental stuff they couldn't really have built. Sometimes down to, stuff that it seems like they could have built, but it just fits into that old mold. It's not. Brick streets go on for miles and miles and miles. I mean, it's things of that nature. It's hard, I'm not going to try and describe it all right now, but you look into that sort of research, and it sheds a different light on history, because San Francisco was not an Indian, Spanish fishing village, in 1820, and then the gold rush happened, a while later, and now suddenly there's this Tartarian megalithic city there. Yeah, that makes zero sense whatsoever. And when you realize that is in fact a fact, what exactly happened in between is what we call history, and that is a story that we're told, and then there's the evidence that can be seen. And you look at the evidence, and you're like, our history is somebody's poor, made up, it's very poor. It's a repeating narrative over and over, and everywhere in the world had the same great fire. It had the same, interchangeable names of people who supposedly designed and built these things, and zero evidence to support the stories. And we're supposed to believe that all of this, everything in the world, was created by our civilization in recent times. And it was possible. And that's just crap, okay? The buildings prove it. If you haven't looked into it, look into it and think about it in those terms. The buildings prove that what you learned in school about the Pilgrims and them coming over in Plymouth Rock and Roanoke Island, the 13 colonies, or go back to Christopher Columbus, the whole 9 yards is a big fart in your fucking face, okay? That's the evil power of the world that's, coordinating all the nations that are involved with the nigh on teens, right? The Crown Victorias. The Ford Crown Victoria, model number 19, that thing. That's the interconnectedness of the evil of the world. I just brought it full circle. I can't remember exactly now to rephrase it, but I guess I don't need to, because I just did it. I'm going to go with that. Anyway, thanks for listening, and maybe something worth considering came out of my little diatribe here. Have a good day.